Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be getting into the beauty report for February 2019. I'm going to be giving you some thoughts on a whole bunch of random stuff that I've been trying out this month, whether or not it's good or whether or not you should save your money and skip right over them. Now this is not going to be a particularly makeup heavy video because I feel like I covered most of the makeup products that I used this month in my makeup playtime update video that I did on Tuesday, so I will link that for you guys in the cards if you want to go check that out. But I do still have some really cool fun stuff to share with you guys, and I have a feeling it's gonna take me a while. As always, these videos are super long, so grab a snack, grab a drink, get your blanket, get cozy, because we're about to get into it. Alright, so since I only have a couple makeup products, why don't we get started there? I first want to chat about the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. Now I did demo this in my date night makeup tutorial that I did at the beginning of the month, so if you missed that one, I will link it for you guys up here in the cards. But essentially, I picked this up hoping it would be a really nice dupe for the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Powder Foundation. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know how obsessed with that foundation I am. I've gone through multiple compacts before, and while I 100% think it's always been worth investing in, sometimes it's nice to have an option that's not $30, so I had high hopes for this guy, and honestly, I've gotten along with this pretty well. It has a very soft, buttery feel to it in the pan, and I think it does have a fairly decent amount of coverage. Having watched some other individuals' reviews on this product, that was one of the complaints that I heard. It didn't really have any coverage. It went on more like a setting powder than like a powder foundation. But I feel like this definitely will cover up on your skin. You just really need to make sure you're applying enough of the product because it is still a powder and not like a liquid foundation. And personally, I don't really feel like you're gonna get very much coverage out of this with a brush. Maybe if you had like a very, very super dense, short bristled brush that you could kind of buff the product into your skin kabuki style, you might be able to get it to work. But I think if you use something that's even remotely fluffy, it's just gonna dust powder everywhere. You're not going to be able to build it up to any amount of coverage. So I actually have been applying this product with a dry sponge. Specifically, I've been using the one from Juno Co because that one is like a fuzzy flocked sponge, and I feel like it really pulls a lot of product out of the pan, and I can essentially kind of almost like swipe and buff the powder onto my skin with it, and it goes on very full coverage. You guys can go watch the tutorial that I did if you want to see what it actually looks like with your own eyes, but in general, I feel like as long as you apply it correctly, you can get really nice coverage out of this. It is going to be very matte, obviously, because it's a powder foundation, but I'm someone with oily skin, so that's never really a problem for me. Also, and this is a thing that I do with any powder foundation, you want to make sure that you apply your concealer first, because layering concealer over a powder foundation is going to turn into a cakey mess. So usually, I'll go in with my concealer first, and then when I layer this on top, I feel like I don't even need to go overboard with it, because I'm essentially just setting down the areas with concealer and then evening out my skin tone everywhere else, and I think it works really, really nice. As far as shine control goes, I don't know, I think the Bare Minerals is probably a little bit better, but it's also 3 times the price. So for this price point, I think it performs nicely. It's super easy to touch up because it is a powder, so if I do start to get shiny after like 4 hours or so, I can just go in with my sponge and dab a little bit more on. But I will say, this is definitely not the most dry skin friendly powder that I've tried. I think the Wander Beauty Powder Foundation is probably one of the most creamy, buttery, like beautiful powders I've ever put on my face, and that one I think any skin type could use, but this I feel like on very dry skin is probably going to enhance texture, enhance any flakiness. Like I couldn't imagine that it would be the best thing for you if you have super, super dry skin. I mean, maybe if you were curious and you wanted to try this out, because a powder foundation is super convenient and really, really fast and easy to apply, you probably just would want to like exfoliate and put on a lot of moisturizer. That way you kind of minimize that dryness before you put the powder foundation on top. And then the only other makeup product that I have is also a powder. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Retouch and Erase, or what the heck are you called? Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I have the shade Butter, which is the second lightest shade. And honestly, I don't really know why I felt so compelled to buy this. It's an expensive setting powder. It's like $30-something. It feels super hefty. The packaging is like ultra luxe and beautiful. Honestly, Fenty always just gets me. They suckered me into that diamond highlighter for the same reason. Like the packaging is just, it's so freaking pretty. It just entices me. So maybe that was part of the weakness. But I also really love complexion products. I've been interested in trying more different setting powders and seeing whether or not they have any effect or difference on how my foundation wears. And this one in general is a very, very soft, finely milled powder. It definitely mattifies the skin pretty significantly, especially when you first put it on. So it may not be, again, the most like dry skin friendly, but it does leave your skin looking very airbrushed. I feel like my pores kind of just like disappear when I put this on. So that's always been really nice. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I have tried this next to the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and next to the Milk Makeup Blur and Set, next to the Pretty Vulgar Powder, next to the drugstore Maybelline Fit Me Powder now. And honestly, the differences to me are so minute that it's hard for me to justify spending so much money on a loose setting powder. Am I going to use this now that I have it? Most definitely. But honestly, I don't feel like this did anything that was significantly different from any of those other setting powders. There is like some slight variation in how matte they are and whether or not they provide any coverage. And this one definitely I don't feel like covers really at all. It's just setting down the makeup. But I haven't really seen any like substantial significant results from this where like my makeup has lasted significantly longer or stayed matte significantly longer than when I've used basically anything else. So I don't know, I can't really say that I don't like this, but it's hard for me to recommend it in the sense of like, I don't think this is anything revolutionary compared to pretty much any other loose setting powder that I've tried. And I know there are some people out there that have very strong opinions about their setting powder, maybe and especially because they have dry skin. So if a setting powder enhances texture and enhances dryness, you're gonna notice it. I don't have that issue because I'm so oily. So for me, it kind of feels like almost every powder mattifies the skin to some extent when I first put it on, and then my skin is going to get shiny at some point, and when that point happens, doesn't seem to be significantly different depending on what powder I'm using. Usually the foundation I'm wearing makes a bigger difference, or primer especially makes a bigger difference. So I don't think I could say in good faith like, yes, this is totally worth $30-something. You should get this over the Maybelline loose setting powder that's, you know, $8-9 from the drugstore. Obviously, if you like the luxury, if you want to support the brand, I don't think this is a bad powder. The one thing that I will note is that it is heavily fragranced. So if you're someone with a sensitive nose, if you get a headache from strong smells, this does have a very strong, almost like powdery sweet kind of scent to it. I don't mind it, I kind of like it, but I could see it being something that would drive people crazy. So all in all, considering how much setting powder I now have in my collection, I kind of feel like I wasted my money on this a little bit, but I'm gonna continue to use it. It's gonna look pretty sitting on my vanity, but yeah, I don't think you need to run out and buy this. Now, if there was going to be one thing from this video that I would say 100% you should run out and buy, and I never do that, so this is like kind of a big deal. It's this guy, which is not a makeup product, but it is a makeup removing product. This is the MakeupEraser. It's a limited edition pineapple print that I picked up from Sephora, and it's freaking adorable. And this, honestly, may be one of the most genius products I have ever purchased in my life. Like, the best $20 I've spent in a very long time. So now if you look at this, it basically just looks like a long washcloth. It's super incredibly soft, like feels like a little bunny rabbit. You just want to pet it. But unlike a regular washcloth, this has got some kind of magic technology that allows it to take off all of your makeup with just water and nothing else. So you just essentially soak this guy in warm water, and like you need to get it really, really sopping wet, and then you just go in and massage it on your face, and it takes everything off. It will take off mascara, eyeliner, glitter, foundation, everything with nothing but water. It's insane. It's so cool. And honestly, I had heard about this thing for years and I was always a little bit skeptical. When I went to Gen Beauty or BeautyCon, one of those two, I got like a little sample, like a little piece of the fabric, and I tried it out and it seemed promising, but I didn't buy it right away. It wasn't until I saw the pineapple print and I just was like, ooh, that's really cute. I've always kind of wanted to try the makeup eraser. Maybe I'll just go for it. And honestly, I could kick myself for not getting one of these sooner, because this will save so much money on cotton rounds. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, if you want to be more eco-friendly and you don't want to keep spending money on makeup wipes and cotton rounds and things that come in plastic packaging that you're going to have to continuously throw away, this is like the most eco-friendly thing to invest in, because you could just go to your sink and take your makeup off with water. You could still go in afterwards with your regular cleansers and skincare if you wanted to, if that like is a part of your routine you really enjoy. But for makeup removal, I feel like this can completely replace makeup wipes for me. It's just awesome. Also, can we note, so this is clean, I've used this and washed it about 3 times now, and it looks brand new. And actually, I should say I've used this probably like 15 times. You don't need to wash it after every single time you use it. I kind of feel like I work in sections on the front and the back until I've made the entire thing really disgusting and dirty, and then I throw it in the wash. I usually wash this guy along with my towels because the wash directions say wash warm, delicate, so that's usually what I do with my towels anyway. And there is not a trace of makeup, not a stain on here. That completely blew my mind. You wash it, you throw it in the dryer, and it comes out like brand new. They say you can wash this like 1,500 times or something insane. Like, it will last years. So when you think about, yes, it's $20 for a washcloth, but if you take $20 and you spread that out over the number of years in which you would have been buying makeup wipes, like, you can save yourself a lot of money, and you can save yourself from utilizing a lot of plastic. It's good for the environment. So yeah, I just think this is genius. I'm so happy that I bought it. I absolutely love it. And if you don't have one, you should go and get one. While we're on the topic of skincare, I wanted to update you guys on some PR I received from Pixi back in January. So I've been using these products now for about a solid 2 months, and I have some thoughts to share with you guys. First is the Rose Tonic. Now, I had previously been using and a huge fan of the Glow Tonic from Pixi, and this is something I have really enjoyed. It's an alcohol-free toner. It helps to pH balance your skin, and this particular blend helps to reduce redness, and I find it to be really nice for daytime wear. I've been kind of alternating with this, using the Glow Tonic night and the Rose Tonic during the morning, because I feel like for me with my skin, when I was using the Glow Tonic twice a day along with my other skincare, it was like a little bit too much. So this, I feel like, was perfect to incorporate into my routine because it doesn't have the glycolic acid and the same exfoliating properties as the Glow Tonic. It's a little bit more gentle, but it still is nice post-cleansing to kind of like rebalance your skin. It smells lovely as well. So this is something I've been really enjoying. If you're someone that doesn't like the Glow Tonic because your skin is too sensitive to the glycolic acid, maybe you want to check this guy out. But then this product here, I don't really feel like is doing anything for me. This is the Rose Caviar Essence. It's an encapsulated moisture serum, and I was using this especially after washing my face and toning in the morning. I would apply it before my moisturizer, and it's a very watery serum. It has also little kind of like rose petally bits in it, but I just didn't really feel like this did very much for me. It sinks into the skin quickly. It doesn't leave behind like a tacky residue or anything like that that kind of like screws with my makeup or feels uncomfortable on the skin. I just didn't really notice any significant differences in my skin when I was using this, so I don't necessarily feel like I could recommend spending the extra money on this guy or feeling it necessary to like make this an additional step in your skincare routine. But this guy, on the other hand, I absolutely love, and surprisingly love, given that this is like an intensive moisturizer. This is the Rose Ceramide Cream, and this is what I've been using at bedtime as like my nighttime moisturizer, and I love this stuff. I feel like this makes my skin super plumped and hydrated. It kind of helps to like repair and nourish it while I sleep. It definitely would be too heavy for me to use during the daytime, especially under makeup, but for bedtime, it's perfect. I feel like because it's winter, I have forced air heat, my skin has been in this very weird spot where it is both oily and dehydrated, so I definitely need to use rich, nourishing creams and like drink a lot of water throughout the day to keep things from being both oily and flaky. So if you're looking for a really nice, luxurious face moisturizer that smells like roses and that's just gonna like really plump up and nourish your skin, you may want to check this guy out because it was really, really bomb. So now this next product is not something that's new to me exactly. It's like a repurchase into my makeup collection that I haven't had in a really long time, and I've fallen right back in love with it. It is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. I got the champagne shade. Basically, I was able to get this for free through BoxyCharm. I utilized some of my Charm Room points and redeemed them to get this. I was trying to get the maple one, but it's sold out, so I got the champagne one instead. And honestly though, I still love this. It's a really pretty sort of like pink, shimmery lip balm gloss situation. It doesn't honestly really go on with any kind of color. It goes on clear. But oh man, this stuff smells like a latte or like malted milk balls, or like it smells like a delicious chocolatey, vanilla-y dessert. It's so thick, it's so luxurious, it's so repairing on your lips. It's just like, oh, it's so good. I'm such a lip balm junkie. I love everything like this. I hadn't used this in probably well over a year. I had like a little sample-sized tube that lasted me an eon, and then I never went and bought the full size because I had so many other lip balms. So when I saw that I could get this, I just decided to jump on it, and I'm really happy that I did because it's such a good lip balm, especially for the winter. It's just like so rich and so nourishing. Definitely enjoying it. And then everything else I have to share with you guys today is from an indie brand, which I'm really excited about. I always love supporting up-and-coming brands. As a smaller creator, I really appreciate the hustle, so I definitely want to clue you guys into this stuff because a lot of it is awesome. So the first product, which is a little bit of a random one, is this guy, which is a razor from the brand Aveline, not entirely sure how you pronounce it. But their PR company reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in trying this razor, and when I saw a picture of it, I was immediately intrigued because as you can see, this is not your standard razor. The design is very, very odd, but what's so genius about it is that it's basically ergonomically designed for shaving your legs. So they basically thought to themselves, you know, the razors that we have and we've been using were all built off of the idea of men shaving their faces. So the razors that we as women have been using on our legs are the ones that were designed after men's shaving razors. And Aveline basically said to themselves, you know what, why not just like completely rethink the razor rather than just rethinking cartridges and fancy extra blades and things like that? Like, why don't we go back to the drawing board and completely rethink the design of a razor to make it more functional and easy to shave a different part of your body? So they came up with this guy, and honestly, I have been freaking loving this little thing. I have incredibly bony knees, like bony, bumpy, oddly shaped knees that are a pain in the butt to shave. It's very easy to nick them. I have to like painstakingly shave around them because the surfaces are not all nice and uniform, and a traditional razor, because the head is not super flexible, just makes it a little bit more difficult to get around those like tight spots. And this guy has like a super flexible head that pivots in like all different directions, so you can get around your ankles, you can get around your knees, and it will not cut you, which is freaking amazing. It also has like 2 sets of blades, and it looks like there's like 3 blades on top, 3 blades on the bottom, so it gives you like a really smooth, close shave. It's also very tiny and compact, and it sits like this, like right in your shower, so you don't ever have to worry about it like falling over, or like, I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, but sometimes my razors end up kind of like with the blades down, and then they get wet and the like gel parts all kind of like get weirdly goopy because they end up sitting in water, and I don't know, maybe that's just me, but this I never have any problem with because it's kind of got like a little built-in stand for itself, and it has multiple ways you can hold it. You can hold it like this and shave like normal, or you can like put it around your ring finger like a ring pop and shave this way. It's really, really interesting. I just thought the whole idea was kind of genius. I really appreciated it. It's one of those things that I didn't know that I needed until I used it. And the price is not bad either. So the whole razor itself is $12, and then if you want to get refill cartridges, a pack of 4 is also $12, which let me tell you, I previously have been using the Venus razors, the Gillette Venus razors, and to get a box of cartridges is like $25 or something insane. I'm always looking for coupons and sales and deals to like get some money off because they're so expensive. And just the single like razor of that alone without any additional cartridges has got to be at least like $10. So I feel like this would not only be saving me money in the long term, but it also is just a better design. I think it's really, really cool. So I'm really glad that I got the chance to try this out. It also looks like they have like a subscription service, so that way you can just have blade refill packs automatically billed and shipped to you every X number of months, and it is a discounted rate if you do that. So if you don't even want to think about it, don't even have to worry about like going to the store and buying razors, you never want to run out of cartridges, you could just like sign up for a subscription and have them automatically sent to you. The next thing that I have are some false lashes. These are from the brand Colorlit, which I have talked about here on my channel before. They are a very small indie brand that is owned by a really, really wonderful woman, and previously all they had were liquid lipsticks, so this is their second product launch, and I think these lashes are so nice. They're only $9. They're all synthetic fibers, so there's no animal cruelty, anything like that involved in these. And the quality and the styles of them are so beautiful. They definitely rival like high-end luxury lashes as far as the way they perform and the way that they look on the eyes. So I would definitely recommend these lashes if you've been looking to add a few new pairs to your collection that are cruelty-free and that are vegan. There are 5 different styles to choose from, so I'll show you what they look like. So this first pair is called Enough. These ones are really wispy, and I apologize if there's like glue bits and grossness all over these lashes, but I have warned them, so my apologies. Then there are these ones, which are called Powerful. I actually really like these a lot because they have a more rounded shape to them. They, I think, suit my eye shape really well. Then these ones are called Confident. They have kind of a little bit more of a wispy appearance to them, very fluttery and fun. Then there's Disruptor. I actually don't think I've worn these ones yet, but they're really pretty. I like that they have like a tapered edge. These would be really nice if you want to kind of accentuate like a cat eye type look. And then these last ones are called Fearless. These are a little bit layered. They're kind of more of that 3D effect. So they add a lot of fullness to the lashes while also still looking fairly natural. Now, as you guys could probably see in the close-ups, these do have a black band to them. They are not clear. However, I don't find the band to be particularly thick or difficult to work with. I actually find that this style of lash band is the easiest to apply. Sometimes the ones that are very, very thin and clear, you just can't put enough glue on them, so they don't stick to the eyes as easily. They're more likely to pop up in the corners. I just find myself sometimes struggling with those the most, but these have a substantial enough band for you to actually apply a good amount of glue, but they're not so thick that they're stiff and difficult and uncomfortable. So these I found really, really easy to pop on. Once you trim them up to fit your eyes, they just boop right on really easily. If you use a good lash glue, they stay on really well. The Esquito lash glue, the Lash Companion, honestly is probably my favorite that I've ever used. That one is excellent. So if you want something to go along with these guys, that's what I would recommend. But all in all, I think this is a really awesome launch for the brand. I'm really excited for them, and I am an affiliate with them, and I do have a discount code, so I will link all that information for you guys in the description box. I think my code will save you 10%. I don't remember exactly what it is, so maybe I'll pop it on the screen here somewhere. But yeah, the info will also be linked to the description box if you want to go check it out later. Then we have this guy. This is a makeup travel case from the brand CaseUp Miami. They sent this over to me to review, and I think this is a really freaking handy little travel organizer. It's like a tri-fold style, and you have a whole bunch of zippered compartments in here, as well as a little hook to hang this from the back of a door. One of the things that stood out to me about this compared to other cases I've seen that are similar is that this has a compartment for your brushes as well as zippered compartments for you to put your products in, but this is all like one big open compartment. It does have like a little extra elastic strap here to kind of secure your brushes, as well as the little sort of like plastic overlay piece to protect them. But you don't have to worry about it having like little compartments that kind of limit the number of brushes that you can put inside or the size of the brushes that you can put inside. It's all just kind of like one big pouch, which honestly for me is so much easier, because sometimes I want to travel with a lot of small brushes and just a couple of big ones, and there are not enough spots in like the smaller compartments of the ones that have specific spaces for me to store all the brushes I want, and I think this is just easier. But yeah, it's very sleek. It's got cute little sort of metallic rose gold detailing. It has a rose gold zipper on it, and I like that the exterior casing here is a hard plastic. Like, this is solid, it's not floppy, so it's really going to protect all of your products. It's not going to be able to be crushed in your suitcase, which is definitely a real thing if you're checking a bag, especially if you're flying somewhere. So I think this is a really cool little product if you're in need of this type of organizer. I mean, obviously you could also just use this to organize your makeup in general and don't just have to use it for traveling. You could hang this on the back of your bathroom door if that makes your life easier, if you have a small enough makeup collection that it will fit in one of these things. I think I have long surpassed the point in my life where I could fit all my makeup in one of these guys. But for traveling, I think it would be perfect, because I don't travel with an exorbitant amount of makeup usually, and I like that there are a bunch of different compartments. There's one back here, there's a big one down here, and then you have another smaller compartment up here you could put like eyeliners and things in. So I think this would just be a nice way to keep all of your makeup safe while you're on the go. And then last but certainly not least, I have some makeup brushes. These are from the brand MODA Cosmetics. They sent these over to me as well, I think back at the beginning of the month, and I did demo these in a little Instagram tutorial that I did. I think I also used them in my date night makeup look that I did at the beginning of the month, so I have been playing around with these quite a bit. And these brushes specifically are all eye brushes. It's a new eye brush set that they just launched. It's a 7-piece collection that has pretty much every kind of brush you would need for your eyes and brows. And I have been enjoying these guys thoroughly. I mean, first of all, they are beautiful brushes. Y'all know how I feel about rose gold, so I cannot complain about the style at all. But these are also 100% cruelty-free vegan brushes. They're all synthetic. This is a PETA certified cruelty-free brand, so that's also amazing. I found these to be incredibly soft. They blend out your makeup well. They're very easy to wash and take care of. They've basically stayed like new through the couple of times that I've washed them. So I definitely feel like the quality is there. At the same time, they are not cheap. Each one of these brushes retails for anywhere from $10 to $14 a piece, so you're looking at more of that like mid-ranged brush price point. They're not like super luxury like Haku Hodu brushes, but they're kind of in the range of like a Sigma brush, maybe just slightly less expensive. You can also buy all these 7 brushes in a set if you want to save some money. And if you don't have eye makeup brushes, like if you're someone that's starting out with a new collection, I feel like this would be a really handy set to have. You basically get 2 kind of blending crease brushes. These are very similar. Honestly, I would have almost preferred them to have a smaller, tighter taper blending brush and a big fluffy one, because I feel like these are a little bit redundant. The Seamless Sheer Blend definitely is a little bit less dense and more fluffy. This one is really nice for blending out transition colors and just kind of, again, well, making a sheer wash of color on the eyes. It is the seamless sheer blend after all. And the build and blend is just like a little bit stiffer and a little bit denser, so it is better for packing color on and like building color up in the crease, but they're not like so drastically different that you couldn't get away with just buying one of these. But then you also get the come through contour, which you could use this for your nose, you could use this on the eyes. It's a little angled soft brush. This one is slightly stiffer, like it definitely has a softness and the ability to blend, but it's going to apply color a little bit more precisely, and it's going to pack it on a little bit more than something super soft and fluffy like this guy. So I really like this, especially for like blending out the lower lash line, or even just for like blending right into a precise area of the crease. It's really nice for that. Then you have the under the covers brush. This is a flat brush that you could use for doing a cut crease. You could also use this for applying concealer basically anywhere on the face if you like a flat paddle style concealer brush. So this has been really handy for like applying pigments, applying primers, and all that kind of good stuff. Then you have the Sultry Smudge. This one is a more true, dense, short smudger brush. Again, really nice for blending out eyeliner or for kind of doing like a smoky lash line effect. You could also use this to pat on pigments in a very precise area. It's really good at picking up cream products. It's good at picking up loose powder products and glitters, things like that. Like this would be great actually if you wanted to just like blend out glitter on the lid or apply it to just like the center of the lid. This would be an excellent brush to do that. And then you have the Masterpiece Crease. Now this is kind of like a large pencil brush. You could use this to smudge out the lower lash line. You could use this to really intensify or deepen up color in the crease. Or I could imagine if you were doing like a cut crease style look and you really wanted to just intensify the edge of where you meet the concealer, you could do that with this brush. So it's also a little bit stiff, but still has a bit of fluffiness to it. So could be a pretty versatile brush. And then finally you get the Brow Chicka Wow, which is a dual-ended brow brush and spoolie. These are like the most handy thing to have ever for applying brow pomades or brow powders, or if you just want to go in and blend a little bit of your brow pencil if the pencil doesn't have a built-in spoolie. I could never have enough of these guys on hand, but I think they're awesome. So yes, I think as a whole, this is a handy little set. It kind of does cover pretty much all of the bases that you need to do your eye makeup. It's a bit expensive. I think it's like $60 to $70 for the entire set, but you do, again, save yourself some money when you buy them all together. But if you already have a pretty substantial brush collection, each one of these individually, I feel like has performed well. I don't think any of them suck, basically. So if there was one that particularly called for you, if you had a need for a specific brush shape, I don't think these would steer you wrong. So definitely happy to have these. And also they did give me a discount code. It's not an affiliate code of any kind, but if you want to save 15% on your order, you can use the code LITTLEBlushingBIRDIE at checkout to save 15% off. Alright guys, so that is it for this month's beauty report. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope it was helpful to hear my thoughts on all of these different products, to be clued into their existence. Definitely let me know in the comments down below whether or not any of these like piqued your interest, if there's anything here you might think about picking up, or if you've tried any of these products, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm always really curious to hear what your experience has been. And if you enjoyed this series and want me to continue to share my thoughts on random products I'm trying out every month, give this video a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support. It helps me out so much. And of course, if you are not already subscribed to my channel and you want my lovely face to show up in your subscription feed, click that button before you go. And on that note, I have got to take a bunch of Instagram pictures. I need to do a check-in because, little spoiler alert, I am testing out the new Tarte face tape foundation. That's what I'm wearing on my skin right now. I've been wearing it a lot recently. If you've been checking out my description boxes, you'll seen it popping up in there recently. So stay tuned for Saturday's video to find out my thoughts on this guy. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.